Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Totally Booked Readers. My name is Alissa.
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Hope. We are three best friends with a passion for reading who enjoy getting together to talk about all kinds of books.
We're just here for the vibes, the good, the bad, and the spicy.
So stick around for the rest of this episode to get to know each of us just a little bit better and how this podcast came to be.
But real quick, before we start, I just want to give a small disclaimer that we really have zero idea about what we're doing. So if this doesn't sound like the best quality, just know we're doing our best. We hope to improve. And at the end of the day, we are just girls.
Mm-hmm.
And we also hope to add videos soon for people who want to watch on YouTube. So keep an eye out for that.
So to get us started, we have been friends for going on 15 years now. I think that's what it was, about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
We all started reading back in, I know I started reading back in middle school. Probably before that, I've just always been a reader. And definitely in high school, we started reading the same type of books, recommending our favorite books to each other. And bouncing off of that, I think I don't really know which the first book we started reading was. I know, was it The Moral Instruments, Alissa, that you had introduced to us?
Maybe. I mean, I remember The Moral Instruments being a very important aspect of my life. I have been a reader forever. I had no friends in elementary school because I moved around schools a lot. And so for my 4th and 5th grade year, I was brand new to a school, and I was actually like the librarian's assistant during
That's so fun.
during recess. So while everyone else was playing and being cool and making friends, I was learning the Dewey Decimal System, so I could put
Honestly,
books away.
I've been jealous of you.
So yeah, so really my love for reading started then. But then when I met y'all in middle school and we all started reading together, my life changed for sure. I think the big book that I remember that like I went crazy over was The Hunger Games.
Yeah. I think that changed like just the culture around reading in general. Like it brought like a lot of younger people into it. And then
The
obviously
YA dystopian.
yeah,
Oh
the hype
yes.
just kept going.
Oh yeah, and then Divergent.
Yeah, for
Oh my
sure.
gosh. Do y'all remember the book The Host?
I do.
I think
I love that.
that was something that we did together. Like I read it. I don't know if it was the two of you, but we went to the movies to watch it.
I think so. I remember checking that book out from the library at our middle school.
And it was like 600 pages. It was
It
probably
was
like the
huge.
It was
biggest one we've
chunk.
ever read.
And it was
at that time.
Stephanie Meyers, the same
The Twilight
the
author.
author of Twilight.
Yeah.
The author of Twilight. So I remember thinking I was like so grown because I was reading a book by the author who made Twilight.
Yeah.
A 600-page book.
Exactly
less.
that. Yeah, I mean, same with me. I started reading when I was a lot younger, and then got really into, like you said, the YA dystopian, all those types of things, and then really took a break in college because there was no time in college.
Who has the time? Honestly.
Exactly. And then got back into it in my second go round with college, and that, been full speed ahead ever since. So that kind of leads us into where we're at today.
Yeah. I mean, life got busy. We got totally booked. We went to college, started our careers, and some of us got married. And through everything, our book clubs have prevailed, and we have met together and stayed together through our love of reading.
It may have fell off a couple times, but we always circle back. We always
We came
end up
back.
coming back.
Yeah, and when they became a little bit more like, I wouldn't say professional, but like more stagnant. I mean, we read so many different genres. I mean, I think my very first time reading a fantasy like book or romantasy book was when we read A Court of Thorns and Roses together with our other friend as well. And that kind of started it all back up. We read Verity, The Score, all of those different books that were really popular at maybe around like 2020.
ACOTAR did come out in 2020, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it was a little later, but somewhere around there. And, our most recent read, which is kind of a big role in why we're here today, was Fourth Wing, because Alissa really, really wanted me and Hope to read it.
Yeah.
It was always a book that was on my TBR. I've owned the book for years and just had it sitting on my shelf. I felt very, very, it was very daunting, I think, to get into it because I love dragons, fantasy. It's my favorite genre of books, movies, anything. And there was so much hype around the book that I went too long without reading it.
I mean, well-deserved hype.
Yes. After reading it now, I can totally see that it was well-deserved, for sure.
Yes. I was literally begging them for like 2 years to read Fourth Wing. And I finally got the chance to make them read it for book club because it was my turn to choose. And so I used my power.
And I'm so glad you did.
I'm so
because
glad.
we're here today. We had obviously our book club, but our book clubs aren't like a normal book club, I don't think. Sometimes we go like 12 hours. We're there till 1 a.m.
And we should clarify, our book club is just us.
Yeah, no, I think that
Book clubs with more than 3 people scare me.
Does it even count as a club? How many members do you need?
That's none of our business. So, but it worked for us. I mean, we got to review the book, got to talk about it a lot. I made a PowerPoint.
PowerPoints are fun.
Yep, with some games, some quizzes. It was really nice. And then, we started reading together, did our little like readathon at the end, where we all kind of started listening to the Iron Flame audiobook and kind of following along on our Kindles.
We've never done before, and I will say that reading experience was so fun. Listening to an audiobook with a group of friends while following along, y'all pause it, can talk about it real time when things are happening. It is so much fun because normally if you're sitting around reading the same book with friends, some of y'all, like everybody could be readers at different paces, and so it's not the same time. So when we were sitting around listening to the audiobook and hearing everything at the same time like you're watching a movie was so much fun.
It was amazing to be able to see everyone's reactions in real time. Also, I feel like I should preface that I had read Iron Flame, so for me, the audiobook is my reread. So it felt really fun to be able to know what was coming next and to see everyone's reactions.
Yeah, I think Alissa got a lot of serotonin from just getting to see our reactions to both of the books so far. I mean, me and Hope haven't quite finished Iron Flame right now at the time of recording, but it's very much in the to-do. I think we're well on our way. But, at that book club, we did kind of start listening to Iron Flame, like we said, and something in the plot, it was a very small plot point, but
it made us all take pause.
Yes.
We paused the audiobook and we all just kind of sat with our thoughts in silence for a good minute, 2 minutes, just sitting there. And it was almost like something dawned on us that we should be talking and recording our thoughts.
Like sharing
what's going on.
Yes. Obviously we thought our thoughts were good enough to share. So,
I mean, even just like to just have that in the world of like our times that we talk about books are very, very fun. And so why not see if anyone else relates? Because if we added a few besties into the mix who are just as passionate about it as us, I mean, I don't think that hurts anyone. I think that just adds more fun.
Honestly, this is like our plea for more book club members.
Yeah.
This is like our application to be you're in your book clubs. So can you add us?
Let us in, please.
Add us, please. Well, into that, we are beyond excited to get to read new and different books that may typically be out of our comfort zone. For me personally, I'm strictly romantic-y, fantasy, dark romance, that kind of stuff. And I know some of us have some varying opinions on
And we'll get into that later.
different types of books. So getting out of our comfort zone is a big reason we're wanting to do this as well. To get along with also sharing our favorites with each other and with you guys. We've always been a part of the bookish community, just more in the background, where we follow you guys, follow authors, watch on Book Talk. So sad. Today is actually the day that tonight is the night that TikTok's going away.
We're literally recording this on
The day in history.
Saturday the 18th at 10:36 p.m. So if it's not already dark, it will be in about an hour. So
So we've always been in the background, but by starting this podcast, we are putting our names, voices, and eventually faces when we get our video up and running out there so we can interact with each and every one of you guys. So to get to know each of us a little bit better individually, Kiara.
Yeah, we've comprised some fact lists about us
We
where we
have.
talk about, the best bookish kind of type things, and we'll get into that, but we'll just give you a little bit of background into us. So my name's Kiara. I'm 25 years old. I'm totally booked and busy. I have my career that I just got started in the past year, and I'm really enjoying my time, but I also enjoy my downtime. I'm happily married, and I know another person on this podcast is also happily married, so I'm going to just boomerang it over to you.
okay, this is Alissa. I am 25 also. I am also happily married. We've been together for 7 years, only married for 2, but going strong. Hope.
Oh yeah, hi, I'm Hope. I am not married. I am very single. I think I'm in love with too many fictional men to be in any kind of committed relationship at this point.
So valid.
I am 25 as well. I'm about to be 26 in like a month and a half. But yeah, I think us going all to school together kind of told you we're around the same age.
Exactly. And, we want to get talking about maybe some of our favorite books, favorite series, favorite authors, but I also want to kind of set the scene. We talk a lot about our reading preferences, and they differ a lot. I mean, I know for me specifically, I used to be a strictly Kindle reader only. That was kind of my method, because I like to be able to just kind of take it anywhere with me, whether I was in line at the DMV or on a 10-minute break at work, and I just wanted to shut everything else off. Like, it was always easily accessible for me. But I, have recently started to fall in love with an immersive reading experience, which is kind of what we talked about earlier, listening to that audiobook and then also kind of following along with either that physical book or Kindle. What about you girls?
Well, I have always been a physical book girly. I am a very kinesthetic learner, and so I absorb information best when I'm moving, rocking, doing something. So I like to read the book and rifle through the pages as I'm reading. I don't know why. It's just something that feels good to me. But I will say I did recently get a Kindle, and I've had it for about 6 months, and it has been life-changing. I do absolutely love my Kindle.
All those Kindle Unlimited
Yes,
books. Yeah.
Kindle Unlimited is very nice. So I kind of do a little bit of both now.
Me, personally, I love reading on my Kindle. I have 1,000,001 books physically on my library shelves at home. But to open them up and actually read them, I don't know what it is, but I like to be able to take notes in my books, but I love my notes and I love my books to be free of notes. I like them to look pristine and new and nobody touched them. I like my trophies on my shelves. So even if I own a physical copy of a book, if it's on Kindle Unlimited, I'm gonna be reading it on there. And if I read a book on Kindle Unlimited that I fall in love with, 9 times out of 10, I'm also gonna buy a physical copy of it to put on my shelf. Let's see.
Yeah, and I think in some ways, me and Alissa very much differ on
Yes.
that front. I mean, I think we've had conversations about how we just, we don't mind if our books get a little, bumped around. I like them to feel loved. I know Alissa, she's a
Yep.
spine cracker.
Oh,
She's
God, yeah.
I know. Gasp.
It breaks my
Mhm.
heart.
Spine cracker, a book bender.
No.
I do draw the line at dog earring pages, though.
Yeah.
I will just use anything as a bookmark, like anything near receipts, hair ties.
I will say that if I read a physical book, I've been known to shove my phone in there as a bookmark, anything as well, if I am reading a physical book.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't hurt the book.
As long as it
Yeah.
doesn't hurt the book.
I consider myself like a type B reader, I like my books to be worn and loved, and I'm a little bit chaotic. I will if I don't have a bookmark on hand or anything to shove between the pages, I'll just put my memory to the test and try to remember which page I was on.
And I just think that's slightly crazy, but
Well,
that
do you
might
not
just be
spoil
because I'm a type A reader. Who knows?
I mean, I get a little bit of an adrenaline rush from it, because then when I'm looking for where I left off, it's like a game of roulette. Like, am I going to find the page I stopped on, or am I going to find a spoiler?
I was just about to ask, how
It's
do you
like,
not spoil
you
yourself?
could not do that in the books like Fourth Wing or like the high like fantasy. That's not high fantasy, but like the romantasy where you're getting spoiled left and right.
It gives me a little bit of a rush,
Yes, it is a gamble.
It's my blood pumping.
Mhm.
Oh gosh. Well, if y'all are reading a physical book, do y'all prefer paperback or hardback? Just
A
curious.
paperback girl.
Paperback.
Who is a hardback person? I don't know.
Okay, so it's not an enjoyable read for me, but
They're beautiful
all
on
the
the
like
shelf.
special editions
Yes,
hardback,
I
all
know.
the most beautiful like hardbacks under the dust cover, like the dust covers, those are beautiful. Like I would just take them off.
Oh my gosh.
And so for the trophy aspect of it, yeah, for sure.
They are absolutely beautiful.
I hate dust covers.
Me too.
I have a confession.
Do you throw them away?
No,
Oh, good.
but I did lose my Iron Flame dust cover.
You did. Is that why it's?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's bare.
She's
You know what,
naked.
that's okay.
She's naked.
And if that doesn't show that you're a type B reader, we don't know what does.
I was a little sad about that one.
Aw.
It's okay. Maybe it'll turn up.
Yeah. Well, kind of adding to the experience, I don't know if this is like a topic where you guys have any input, but I often like listen to music while I'm reading, and I've heard that that's
I read
something people don't like to do.
I read in total silence. If I have
Okay, for
anything in
sure.
the background, it's like rain or a fireplace, and that's usually only when I'm here at book club with y'all and we do our little readathons.
Because I like to put up like aesthetic soundscapes on like YouTube with like
If
the
I'm
rain and the low lighting.
if I'm
We
home
set them-
alone, zero noise, like total silence. I'm reading in so I can fully immerse into the book and just imagine myself there.
I'm the same way. I don't want any background noise. I mean, I will listen to like a soundscape or something, like some rain in the background, but I prefer it calm, quiet, no distractions. That's the best. And I also I love reading like in my bed or on my couch or somewhere cozy. And now that I've gotten my Kindle, sometimes when my husband goes to bed and I'm still awake, I will lay in the dark and read on my Kindle. And let me tell you, that's like
Game changer.
God tier experience. I
all the
love it.
senses are gone. It's dark.
It's like
It's quiet.
it's only me and my imagination. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There you
Yes.
go.
Also, in my bed, zero, or I guess sometimes on the couch, but in my bed, which is also my library, like my whole room is just built around my books.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's why, I've always been like an audiobook girly. Like if I can listen to an audiobook, it depends. Like if it's Something that I'm really looking forward to, and I have it in paperback. I might just kind of sit down and make a night of it. But I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I think for our Iron Flame listen, that was both of y'all's first.
I listened to all of the Akatar graphic audios.
Okay, gotcha.
Those are the graphic audios, so they're a little different to what I would say a normal, typical audiobook is. Definitely a more deep dive where you're fully immersed into the book. And have either of y'all listened to a graphic audio before?
I've never listened to an audiobook at all until this
okay.
Iron Flame
Yes, you
read.
did.
No, I've listened to them, but I've never
gotcha.
I mean, I've heard an audiobook before, but I've never read a book listening to an audiobook or listened to an audiobook of a book.
I don't think I could solely listen to an
That's
audiobook.
what I was gonna say, for you guys sharing that, you can't have any distractions, you have to have it silent. I'm over here, cleaning, doing dishes,
I don't think I would absorb the information or really get into the book like I want to.
No, I'm a visual person, I have to see the words or I will not pay attention at all.
I think that's just a problem with me. I can't sit in silence ever. So.
And that's another thing for me though, to get fully immersed, my best reading experience, which is we'll get into a little bit later, probably why I haven't read as much as I would like to here recently. I like to sit down and devour an entire book in one sitting, 2 at max. I hate picking up a book, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down. I just want to sit down and read for 6 to 8 hours, just knock that puppy out. But I don't usually have that kind of time, and I'm gonna have to get over it because there are way too many books on my TBR to keep doing that.
Yeah. I don't think I have that problem. I try to get in at least an hour of reading. I read before bed, on my phone on my Kindle.
I just get too into it. I can't. I don't want to put it down if I read right before bed.
It's a lot of self-restraint, but it's not easy.
No,
by any means.
I will say I have fallen asleep multiple times listening to the audiobook.
Really?
Yes.
And see, that's why I haven't just solely I still follow along with my Kindle. We're talking about Iron Flame, right?
Yeah.
I can't. When I started it back up at my house after we left here, I played the audiobook and I continued to follow along. And I haven't only played the audiobook because I want to follow along.
Right. No, I will fall asleep holding my Kindle, listening to the audiobook. I'll wake up at a random spot. Luckily, I've read Iron Flame before, so no spoilers this time.
Yeah.
But I'll wake up in a random spot and I have to back up the audiobook to where the last page on my Kindle was that I turned because I'll just fall asleep with it. So I don't know if I'll continue to be an audiobook girly or not. I will say one positive is I do like the way that the person who's reading the audiobook, the inflections in their voice and the tone that they use and stuff. And I like how when it's an exciting scene, she'll talk faster and she'll
yeah,
she gets into
builds up the suspense, the tension.
So then I'm like, ooh, now I'm paying attention.
And it's a reread for you because so you catch things differently that you didn't read it in your head that way with the different inflection and stuff.
Yes, that is also true. Because I will say, I am a type B reader, so I do get a little chaotic sometimes. I'll skip the page, my eyes skip.
My eyes skim too, and I spoil myself on the next page.
I'll physically put my hand in front.
I have to.
I think that's just natural to just kind of look down, especially when you're in a tense scene. But I have to cover it and go line by line at that point if it's a big deal.
And Kiara, you listen to audiobooks in in a very controversial way, I would say.
I'm not ashamed. Okay, as high speed as an audiobook can go, I can get there. Is that a place that I'm always at? No. If I'm walking around, I'm driving my car, I'm doing those things I was talking about earlier, chores, I'm at maybe a healthy 1.5, 1.75. But if I'm sitting down and I have the pages in front of me and I'm just following along and I am in it, 2.5.
Oh my God.
3.
No,
you have not been able to get past.
And you know
2.
what? I got into this, when I'm not in a book slump, when I'm in it, I can get like a 10-hour a 10-hour audiobook done in one night sitting. I think I did that like 3 days in a row, like over one of the breaks recently.
Oh, no wonder.
That is not an everyday occurrence, but
No, that's crazy. I listen to it on like 1.5, and then if it's like a slow part of the book, I'll speed it up to 2. But the second she starts talking faster because it's getting an intense scene, all I'm hearing is
yeah, and I felt bad because we started the Iron Flame audiobook on 1, obviously, and like started to see if we can build up. I was losing it. I was like, "Hey guys, do you want to like move it up to like 1.25, please?"
And then
Can we
you
do that?
sneakily popped it up to 1.5 and thought we didn't notice.
No one said anything.
I noticed.
I noticed, but it was fine.
Yeah, no one yelled at me, so it's
No, but
okay.
I think that 2 to 3 speed is just insane. I
3
don't think my brain can process.
3 is crazy. I don't know
I'm
how
sorry.
you're like absorbing that information.
No, it's all good. But one more thing that I think that you guys would probably like make fun of me for is that I also, like, fun fact, I can be in the middle of like 2, 3, 4 books at the same time. Like I can have a Kindle book so that like I can read when I'm falling asleep. I can have a physical book. I can have an audiobook. I can have 2 Kindle books. It just, and then I get to pick. I'm a mood reader.
So I've never gone to 3 books, but I am known to be in the middle of 2 books. I will have a Kindle and a physical sometimes, or sometimes 2 Kindle, but never more than 2, and I'm usually already halfway through one before I start another.
I would say it's usually not for long. Like you said, I can't read my paperback till I get to, wind down at the end of the night. But if I'm out and about, I have an extra couple minutes, I might be on my Kindle.
That's not me. I'm a monogamous woman.
Okay.
One book at a time.
You want a cookie?
Okay. So, dude, if anything, do you want a trophy? Like, are you trying to race someone?
No, I think there's something wrong with me. I can't slow down. That's the problem. And so really, I think you guys are the winners here.
Really, I think it, says more about my intelligence that I can only process one book at a time.
I think everybody is just a different reader and enjoys different experiences. That's totally fine.
And speaking of, let's get into our top 3 favorite genres. I mean, I know that ours differ, so I'll let you 2 go first.
Yours differ.
Yeah,
Alyssa's are very similar.
Me and Hope are pretty similar. My number 1 is romantasy.
Same, girl. Same.
I love a good romantasy. I like romance books, but to me, they're a little bit boring. I need higher stakes. I need not just are they going to end up together. I need there to be a risk of life, a risk of, are they going to live? Is the country going to survive? Is the world going to exist for their love?
I mean, I do think that keeps you like well into the book. So
yeah,
you're invested.
That's why I can only read one book at a time.
Same with you, Hope, or anything?
Romantasy, fantasy, I kind of group them as both because I feel like a lot of just regular fantasies also have some romance aspects. But any book that's going to take me out of reality so I can get out of my head and into another world, it's going to be my go-to. So,
yeah. Well, I'm like mainly that romance person. And that can differ. I mean, I'm a heavy proponent for the sports romance and the workplace and the fake dating and all that. But I also like romantasy. I just think that the world building aspect, like I can do like maybe 1 to 2 romantasies a month, maybe. But you guys have always introduced me to some pretty good books, so I am always open to your suggestions. And then also literary fiction. That would probably be my next biggest one. And I think that's my goal for our podcast, is to try to get Hope and Alissa into some literary fiction reading. I have some, a couple good options.
I'm nervous for those.
And then, just an honorable mention, some mystery and thriller. I'm not super heavily into it, but I do have a couple favorites.
Yes. My second is fantasy. And then my third is dark romance. Please, this is a safe space. Nobody touch.
We're safe.
Please. But special shout outs for hockey romances and cowboy romances because I do go feral for those.
She gets it.
My number 2 after romantasy, obviously. My number 2 is also dark romance. Safe space. Remember, I love me a mafia type romance or something like that. And then I'm also my number 3. I love sci-fi. Not necessarily like Ice Planet Barbarians or anything like that.
Okay. Judgy.
But no, I mean I did read that one. It was fun to escape, but yeah, I love me a sci-fi. Again, sort of like the fantasy, something that's not in this world.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll have to throw in some of your recommendations into that one because that is definitely not my go-to pick.
Yeah,
yes.
I have a few. Do we have favorite authors that we'd like to talk about?
I'll start. My number 3, I was obsessed with her all last year. I'm going and obsessed this year, is Elsie Silver. Which is crazy because I'm now realizing that my authors don't really line up with my genres. Because Elsie Silver is not a dark romance girly.
Well, you had your cowboy romance in there as a special shout out, right?
Yes. Cowboy romance.
That's where it's coming from.
That's where it's at. Those Eaton boys, they got me. And man, oh man, anything she puts out, I'll read it. I don't care.
That's how I am with my number 3, Katie Robert. She has the Dark Olympus series and she has some little novellas and so she is a dark romance to me. I don't know, I'm sure there's more dark stuff out there, but I love her Dark Olympus series.
I think she classifies as a dark romance author.
Okay.
For sure.
I say my number 3 falls in line with that literary fiction genre. That's Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think I've read pretty much almost all of her books. I think I'm working through just the final ones now. And I always dive right into those. I get so engulfed in their lives because they just feel so real.
Number 2 for me, Miss Rebecca Yarros. Love her. I feel like I need to say nothing else. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame have consumed me. I will say I haven't read any of her contemporary romances, and that's a goal for me this year, is I really want to read some of her other books.
I didn't realize she had contemporary romance.
Yeah. That's what she was writing before Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. So, but she knocked it out of the park with those, so I'm excited. I heard that they tear you apart.
Oh, I think I've read hers before, like in high school.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to look and find out which one that was, but I've been seeing it come up. I just don't remember the name of it, and I remember it breaking me.
Yeah, which if I had known that, we might have, seen the ending of Fourth Wing coming.
Ouch! Stop it.
We'll get into that next episode.
Me and Alissa are so similar. Rebecca Yarros is also my number 2, and I didn't even know about her contemporary romance. That's just how much Fourth Wing and this series has gripped me. I love her writing style, and just like Alissa said, it tore me apart, and you get so immersed and you fall in love with every single one of these characters. They're easy to love and easy to hate at the same time. It's just amazing. I love her.
Well, I think you two will both be pretty proud of me for my number 2 author, because she's a romantasy queen, I would say. I mean, Sarah J. Maas.
Okay. Yeah, she's my number 1.
She's my number 1 as well.
Really?
Yeah.
She's my numero uno.
I think she holds a special place in our heart, at least the ACOTAR world, just because, like I said, that was my first fantasy read ever. And it was with you guys.
Oh, Sarah J. Maas.
Wow.
You're a genius. Honestly.
I guess I spoiled you guys. I brought you right into it. But my number 1 favorite author is Abby Jimenez. So romance. I just love her so much.
It's funny because I haven't read any of her books.
I haven't read a single one.
She's your number 1.
Yep. I know.
So and you've read all of the authors on my list. In fact, you recommended Elsie Silver to me.
I did.
So thank you for changing my life.
You're welcome.
And because of that, I will probably be reading some Abby Jimenez books this year.
I would say we take that as a learning lesson. You know, my recommendations aren't the worst.
Kiara, I'm staring at your bookshelf right now,
Mhm.
and I'm surprised that Emily Henry or Elle Kennedy are not in your top authors.
Listen, and maybe they'll come up later, who knows? I just have too many, and I even have, like, a new contender. I've only read, like, 2 books from this person, but I am so, so excited to read more from them. It's Frederick Bachman, and listen, I don't read a lot of, like, male authors, and that's not on purpose, it's never come up, but somehow I got introduced to one of his books, and it, like, hurt. I like to feel pain in books. You'll learn that about me.
I was just telling you I needed a book that would make me cry.
Yeah, but I did kind of
boy, I have
maybe
one
a couple months ago, I tried to get Alissa to read one of his books. It's called Anxious People with Me, and she said, "I'm already anxious enough. I don't need to read a book about it." So I was kind of shut down.
I apologize for shutting you down.
In a joking way.
Also, like, my anxiety doesn't need any help, you know?
I mean, me too.
I don't think the fantasy is helping that either. The high stakes,
Exactly.
like you're already putting yourself
I
through
like
that.
to be seen in my books, and those types of books make me feel seen.
I like to disappear. Again, put me in a whole nother world. I don't need to feel like me.
True.
So
Maybe that's why I like the high stakes in romantasy books, because my body is, like, in fight or flight anyway. So
It's
it
not
might
realistic.
as well be over, like, a real life or death situation and not over, like, something dumb.
Some real crap
Mhm.
going on. Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. Like a miscommunication.
Oh god.
I hate those. But I do have some special shout outs as well.
Mhm.
Elle Kennedy was one of my special shout outs. I love her hockey romances. So good. Emily McIntyre.
Mhm.
She does the the storybook retelling of, like, Hooked
Like
Oh, yeah.
and
Okay.
Scarred and stuff. So good. And she just beat breast cancer, so
oh my gosh.
so happy for her.
Yay.
I know. I love her. And then Chantel Tessier. I'm not sure I said that right. I'm so sorry if I didn't.
No, you did a great
But
job.
she is, like, my number one dark romance author. I love her. The Ritual is so good.
I need to read that.
You do?
Maybe I need to give it another try because I read it a while ago, like a long time ago, and I didn't love it.
Listen, I think you need to work your way up.
And it's not like I've never read dark romance before. You know, I have a few that I really, really enjoyed. Like I said, I think I just need to try it again. Fresh eyes.
Well, you read Penelope Douglas.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've read a lot.
She's
Douglas
kind
is
of
And not
taboo.
just her, you know. So
She has some taboo scenes and stuff
Mhm.
in her books.
I have a few special shout outs. Allie Hazelwood and Tessa Bailey. Very, very
Both
generic.
romance
I feel it,
girlies.
but
No, those are very light.
yeah.
little-
Well, Tessa Bailey. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you guys need palate cleansers.
I was gonna say they are a good palate cleanser between my romance or darker, just
I do also love both of them.
Mhm.
Tessa Bailey, I love her social medias. She's funny. She's hilarious on her, like, Instagram and her
Mhm.
TikToks. She's awesome. Let's talk about our top 3 favorite books.
Okay, starting at 3.
Yes.
yeah.
3. So number 3 for me is in the Throne of Glass series. This was hard for me to pick between Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows, but I chose Heir of Fire as my number 3. And Hope hasn't read Throne of Glass yet.
That's part of my thing. I was gonna say, please don't hate me. I have not read that series. So I have read the first 3, and then I stopped in the middle of Assassin's Blade.
So she literally stopped right before it gets good.
I know.
Mm.
I know. Don't hate me. That is definitely, I have that here somewhere. I think it'd be really fun for y'all to do a reread and read with me, and we can definitely dive into it because I think there's, obviously a very big audience for this
Oh, yeah.
series.
I'm
We
100%
should
down.
do a deep dive
It's like,
episode.
Yes.
This is not, no one's mad at you. Everyone's just excited to be able to see
This is a
you experience it for like the first time, like the whole entire experience.
And I definitely, I don't know why I stopped. I think I know why I stopped in the middle of Assassin's Blade. So I think it'd be, I don't know. I think if during my reread of those first 3, I think I might start with Assassin's Blade.
I think that's the
and then
move.
we'll continue on instead of reading it in the middle.
I
should.
am a lover of Assassin's Blade. I know it's like kind of talked about. Some people call it boring. I really love it, and I think it should have been at the beginning, but the original time I read it third.
That's what she released it.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I read it in the
first
order
2.
she released.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I haven't read the first 3. Maybe I read the first 2 and then stopped in Assassin's Blade because I read it when, like, in the release date.
Did you
I think.
Did you read the original Throne of Glass?
Yeah,
And then Crown of Midnight?
pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know about Air of Fire.
I don't think you read Air of
I don't
Fire.
think so.
You would remember
Then
if
no.
you read Air of
No, I read the
Fire.
first 2 and I stopped in the middle of Assassin's Blade.
Air of
Oh,
Fire is
gosh.
life-changing.
Yeah.
I would love to reread it with you. So put
I
that
would
on the
love to
bucket
as
list.
well. I actually started a reread last year, and I got through Throne of Glass, and I got through Crown of Midnight, and I stopped at Air of Fire, which is kind of crazy because it's my favorite.
Of you.
Well, so for my book number 3, this was actually recommended to me by Kiara.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to
Say You
hear.
There by Megan Brandy. It was way longer than a sports romance book needed to be,
I mean,
but it
true.
tore me to pieces. I think I actually read it in one of our readathons at book club, and I was bawling on Alyssa's couch, just sobbing while they're over there freaking out about what were y'all reading, one of your Zodiac Academy
Zodiac
books or
Academy.
something.
Yeah.
But it still sticks with me. It was a really, really good book.
I
I'm
have
so glad.
not read that one, but I feel like I've read it because I was there.
All my
to
emotional
witness.
trauma from it.
Yeah. We have some pretty interesting videos from that night
Oh,
of folks'
stop it.
reactions.
Yeah.
I thought they were wholesome and so adorable. Maybe we'll share them one day.
Maybe.
Who knows? Well, my third favorite book, and I tried to, just diversify a little bit throughout these lists, so you do get to see some Emily Henry. I put Book Lovers.
Okay.
I think that's my favorite of her books so far. I really, really want Alissa to read it because I really think she'll like it. Obviously, I think Hope will too, but I think Alissa will connect to it more.
I'll read it. I'm willing to read anything, really. I'm
Yeah.
open.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
I'm also open. They're looking at me like, you good?
Well, while Kiara diversified her list, I did not.
I did not either.
Number 2 for me is A Court of Mist and Fury.
I think our number 1 and 2 are switched.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, that's a dang good one.
A Court of Mist and Fury was my number 1 all-time favorite for the longest time ever, until it was dethroned, and you'll find out by who.
Yeah.
In a few minutes.
I think I know, because my number 2 is Fourth Wing.
Wow.
Mine
By
is
Rebecca
too.
Yarr. Your number 2 is Fourth Wing too?
I did put it up there. I do think we just finished it, so it's so fresh.
Yeah.
And also being reminded that I didn't put A Court of Mist and Fury in here, which I love deeply. So
I'm shocked.
I have a tattoo for that book.
I hope that no one gets mad at me, but I love them both. But I put Fourth Wing because I just felt the emotions more recently, and it just feels bigger right now. We'll see if that shifts around over time. Who knows? But I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, my list changes like all the time.
So would you say your number 1?
My number 1 is Fourth Wing,
Mhm.
obviously. But it's been like that since I read it. I literally loved Fourth Wing so much. I think about it daily, honestly. I cannot wait to discuss it further in our episode. I love Fourth Wing. There, I said it.
She said it.
I do love Fourth Wing. I A Court of Mist and Fury will always be number one for me. I don't know what it is, but that book, it changed my life.
I
In
don't
many
blame
ways. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah,
good book.
very valid.
I support. Just, Fourth Wing is
I don't know, maybe during a reread or later in the series of the Empyrean series. I don't know what it holds, what we're gonna get. Maybe, but
that's
yeah.
true.
Currently, Court of Mist and Fury, she's number one for me.
Well,
I say, well, I despise ranking all these books because I just love so many of them.
Yeah.
But my number one is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And this is the one that I was referring to when I said, Alissa, like, there's, anxiety representation in here, and I think it's done in a well way. And it's just so good. Really, really stuck with me for a long time after. So when I was, ranking these ones, it kind of popped into my mind. I was like, how can I not put it on there? So,
well, I feel like a friend. Oh, sorry, Sam, for cussing.
Sam is our editor, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys don't know that?
We have 2 editors, Sam and Nick. We might reference both of them.
you're not, because I know the way that it was said, it was so funny. And it was not meant to mean any harm. And at the time, I do think you guys were a little more like romantasy, fantasy. But since we started book club back up again, it was like, I'm more open. I'm give me your recommendations. Let's do it.
Well, I also feel like a friend. Sorry, Sam. Because you've read every single one of the books on my top 3 books, but I haven't read any of yours.
2. No, we read Fourth Wing.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it enough. I think we read Fourth Wing. My bad. So there's 2.
Well, those will be good. Like you said, I think, they're not necessarily palate cleansers because there are some, just deeper meanings, I guess, but they are romances at the end of the day. So we might be able to tuck them in there every once in a while.
Yeah, we have to. I have to.
You have to.
I feel like I must.
And we'll hold you accountable.
Good.
Yep.
Hold me accountable.
Absolutely.
I need it. Obviously, I'm a chaotic reader. Type B.
I have 2 top honorable mentions that didn't quite make it into my list. I think I should have put it as like our top 5 because I don't know, it is very hard to choose. But I have A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher. It is the first book of the Kingmaker Chronicles. Also a romantasy. Alissa, I think you would love it. Very, very interesting magical system. It's really good. And then Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's the first book in the Lux series.
She wrote from
Blood and Ash.
Yeah,
Wow.
I saw your gaze just look over at my bookshelf and confirm that first.
Wait a second, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
crazy.
Obsidian. It's sci-fi. It's about this girl. I don't read a lot of high school anymore, but it's this girl in high school, and she moves into a new house, and her neighbor, you come to find out, is an alien. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel
I'm intrigued.
Yes, I feel like I must read it now. And the other one you said, what did you say?
A Promise of Fire.
That sounds interesting. I'll
You'd
have to
love
look
it.
into that.
Yeah.
And listen, all you have to say is it's a romantasy, and I'm in.
It is.
I'm in. You don't
Sold.
have to convince me. Sold.
Okay. Well, I do want to switch on over to our top favorite series.
Sorry about that. I couldn't leave this off. I love them so much.
No, I understand.
Our series. Okay. I would like to preface by saying I don't feel like I can include an incomplete series in my listing.
I did.
Because listen,
it's long enough.
I've got it. I mean, we all know I'm referencing the Empyrean series, Fourth Wing. So I feel like I can't say if it's my favorite or not, because there are some characters in that book that if something bad happens to them, I can't make any promises I'll stay loyal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So anyway, My number 3 is the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver.
Ooh.
Those Eaton boys. I was eating them up. Oh my god. I was fed.
I think I need to read those.
Raw. Next question.
Oh gosh.
And my number 3 is The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare.
Holy moly. That's a throwback.
I don't remember everything exactly. It's a long series. I don't remember everything. Obviously, I read it back in high school, but I do remember that series consumed me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was obsessed with them for forever. And I remember the emotional roller coasters, the world. I think it was one of my first. It's not dystopian, so I think it was one of the first like fantastical type books that I read set in like today's time, which I really enjoyed.
I gotta say, I also loved Cassandra Clare. I loved all of her books.
I didn't read the Clockwork.
Clockwork
I didn't read
Angel
those.
series for me, like to this day, if somebody says the name Will, I'm like transported back in time
Oh gosh.
to that book.
I started that series but never finished it. And it's not because it wasn't good, because it was good, but I just haven't gotten back. And I think I need to.
The Clockwork one or the Mortal
The
Instruments?
Clockwork one.
Did you read the Mortal Instruments?
Guys, sorry, no.
What?
I'm sorry.
Who are you?
By the time, it was just a lot.
I'm shocked. When did I read that? I can't. Was it in high school?
Definitely high school. Because you recommended them to me. I read them in high school, so yeah.
I was obsessed with them, for sure. And then I remember, I think you got me the Clockwork Angel series for my birthday.
I did.
I believe.
I'm pretty sure.
And I remember so vividly sitting on my bed in my Paris-themed room because I was so cool.
Yep.
Starting to read that book, and it was like an awakening for me. I was like, this is it. I'm gonna be a reader for the rest of my life. Like this, it feels so good to read.
You're
this
locked
book.
in.
It is.
I was locked in.
Yeah, it's stuck with me, The Mortal Instruments, so she's still on number 3 for me.
Love that.
My number 3 is the Addicted Calloway Sisters series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. And I tried to get Alissa to read it, and I totally understand why she wasn't the biggest fan of it. However, I fell in love. For anyone who's read it, you know that there's, a couple couples in there. And typically you read it and you have your favorite. And I have my favorite. And I am ride or die for them. And I just wish that Alissa and Hope could just know. Like, they don't have to read the whole series, but if they could just, if I could just give them all my information, if they just tell me who their favorite was, then we could have some discourse.
Hey, who's your
We're
favorite?
not there yet. Lo and Lily.
Are they in the first one?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you didn't like them.
I DNF'd that book.
I know you did.
I thought she was so trashy.
Alissa. I cannot believe you're saying that to me right now. Because listen, the love they had for each other. Oh my god. No, you don't understand. Because you stopped before the first one ended.
I don't know. Like, did he love anyone? He was always so drunk.
They were two broken people.
They were broken for sure.
Okay, give them a chance.
Maybe I should go back. No, I remember texting you and being like,
I know.
This book sucks, but I like the side character. Connor? What was his name? Connor?
Connor.
I liked him.
I guessed you would be a Connor and Rose fan.
Oh my gosh. Maybe I should
you'll never get there.
Maybe. Okay. See, now I feel like a bad friend again.
No, but for you, Hope, it's like, because I feel like you would be the third couple, but I can't tell you what it is.
How cute.
Who they are.
Okay, now we have to read it, because how cute would it be if we all have different favorite couples and we can
fight about them?
That would be so good.
I would love to have discourse.
Connor's adorable, and he doesn't seem like he needs fixing. I think that's my issue, and we'll get into our favorite and least favorite tropes later, but I'm just not into, like, a man that needs to be fixed. You know?
Valid.
I just don't, I want him to fix.
Well, I think...
Actually, I don't want anybody to need to be fixed. I just want them to be.
Yeah. Well, I think... Okay, so there's another book series in my series list, and I'll get to it later. I won't spoil it now, but I very much like character specific series. Like I like a big like plot heavy book, but when it's series, if I do not love the characters, there's no point in it for me. So when I love the characters, I want to follow them along. And so I think that that's where we differ because then it's like 5 books of just following their lives, and their lives are normal and they're not high stakes. So
You're very character driven.
that's why it's really hard because like I want you guys to like know my favorite like series and those people, but if I don't think they'll hook you, and that's okay, but I'm gonna make you try once. I think that's the goal.
I think we can try.
Thanks, pal.
I mean, I want to get out of my comfort zone. As much as I love romantasy, I just feel like I need to branch out. Can I even call myself a reader if I'm a one-trick pony? You know what I mean?
Of course you
I
can.
hear ya.
Of course you
Well,
can.
like
To each their own. I'm
Start
not gonna
from-
yuck your yum.
What you
Thank
like.
you.
I
I'm
think
not gonna
that's
yuck
great.
your yum either.
Thank you.
We gotta try it all.
Well, I do just want to go off of that because, like I said, these are my top or my number 2 is also very similar. It's the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh.
I want to
And
read
Alissa has said
that-
that she wants to read it.
The Binding 13.
Yes, Binding 13, Keeping 13, and so on and so forth. This one is not a finished series.
I actually see TikToks about them all the time.
Yeah.
Not spoilers, just like people saying, like, I think there was just an anniversary of something in that book, and I saw a bunch of TikToks of those.
Very important day, yes.
I
January 10th, everyone.
am interested in reading them. It does freak me out a little that they're high school
Yeah.
because I don't know. It freaks me out. I feel like I'm too old to be reading
High school in 2005.
about high schools. That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I want to give it a try.
Hey, I don't blame you.
So, my number 2 is ACOTAR. The entire I know it's not a complete series. I'm considering the first 3 books that were from Feyre's point of view. I guess you could say 4 because of the novella.
Frost of Starlight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm considering those a complete series because they're from her point of view. And honestly, we should talk about A Court of Silver Flames sometime, so I won't give my full opinions, but not even on the same level, if you ask me. Not even close. So I'm considering ACOTAR a complete series.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 is the Empyrean series. And I know you said you weren't considering it complete and that. I get it. But when it's finished, I know it'll be there.
I say, at this point, Hope is not even halfway into Iron Flame.
I don't even care. Leave me alone.
For
It's
real.
so good.
I
I have
understand.
a tattoo of a dragon, and I had it years before I ever started reading this book. Dragons, if dragons were real, I would want one.
Yeah.
It's just, I love them so much.
I would just like to say that at this point in time, when we're recording this, I have read Iron Flame. Hope is not even halfway through Iron Flame, and Kiara is probably like 90% through.
Yeah.
But she
90.
hasn't gone to the end yet.
Oh, God.
Am I gonna get hurt?
Oh,
Am I gonna get hurt?
you're gonna get
You're
hurt.
going to get hurt many times in
Like-
between.
You're gonna get hurt,
Uh,
babe.
No, I don't want to. I don't want
Listen,
to.
I haven't
I
said
think that's why I'm-
anything because I don't want to give any spoilers, but I just think it's funny that you put it as number 2
I think
because you don't
I'm-
even know.
I think that's why I'm stalling reading. And so as I'm reading, because they're both ahead of me in Iron Flame, I constantly send them like text updates as I'm reading. And I feel like I'm going to be so annoying for
No.
the rest of this book because it's just, it's like every page there's something that's like, what the hell's happening?
Mhm.
Never annoyed by y'all's text
But that
updates.
just like adds to the girlhood of reading books. Like, I might not be able to read your updates in the moment, but it's going to be a binge session of reading, like scrolling through your text.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy every second of it. So,
I love knowing things that y'all don't. It's amazing. It's like when people are starting to read ACOTAR and they're like big Tamlin fans.
and
And I'm just like,
Oh god.
just wait.
that's all we'll say on that.
Yeah, that's
Thank
all
you.
we'll say. We'll say, if you love Tamlin, all right.
Mhm.
And my number 1 is Throne of Glass.
My number 1 is Throne of
Of
Glass.
course it is. I'm sorry.
That
So good.
holy
Because,
moly.
you know, I love character-driven series, character driven. Alyssa
Oh
likes
my gosh.
like intense,
Big plot.
big stakes, high stakes. It's in there.
It's in there. It's got it. It's got
You
it.
have character growth and development. It's in there.
I will say,
You know I need to
I will
finish
say the only thing missing, I feel like, is
Hmm.
some spice in Throne of Glass.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not spicy.
Just some.
We'll never know what Lorcan did,
illusions. We'll never know what Lorcan did.
but
I
that's
don't
okay.
know who
It's still
Lorcan
my
is.
number one.
I was like,
You don't know who Lorcan is?
no.
But I'll wonder every day. You know?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And so he
can we
did.
make a prediction? Like, who do we
What?
think Hope's favorite male main character is going to be? For
Oh, I know.
who?
Are we
Can we-
saying?
Am I okay?
I think it's gonna.
Like, I
think it's-
know characters. I'm obviously like,
I think it's gonna be Dorian.
I think Dorian.
Like over
Dorian.
time. Yeah.
You know Dorian?
he's
know
a whiny
Dorian.
little right now, isn't he?
Oh my
Oh my God.
goodness. Not even a little.
I did not like him in the first books.
What? I think you need to change your
I think-
answer.
I feel
I'm
blindsided.
sorry.
That was crazy. You're
Oh
gonna
my
get hate.
God.
Am I?
Okay, then it might be Lorcan.
I think Lorcan or Fenris.
No, it
You don't
won't
think
be.
Fenris?
I think it should be, but
Dorian.
it won't be.
He's the prince, isn't he?
Dorian's the prince, yeah.
Listen, you haven't seen
Wait, so
half of what he
hold on,
goes
Hold
through.
on. Pause for a moment. Pause.
Pause.
Who do you want her to end up with right now? Like between Dorian and Kale.
I don't like either one of them.
I mean, valid. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
We don't like this. This can be like I don't.
Yeah,
I,
we're not.
yeah, we can.
We need to make an episode about this.
I will
Before we
continue
start
to and
reading
it's,
it.
it's also been years since I've read it, so
No,
my
I-
brain is a little fuzzy.
I think we should make one before
Like
she reads Throne of
predictions?
Glass. Yeah.
Love.
Like a Hope's predictions.
Oh gosh. Well, I know your number one, both of y'all's number one, is The Throne of Glass, but my number one is ACOTAR, obviously, because I haven't read Throne of Glass. And I'm also considering ACOTAR, the first 3.5, as the little novella. Again, I guess I just read them at a time in my life. I feel like it's very relatable. Everybody picked it up and got them back into reading. Not that I hadn't been reading, but these just really, really got me back into fully, like, I'm in it.
Oh yeah. ACOTAR's good. Sarah J. Maas. She rules. What a queen. Whenever I need inspiration to get back into reading, I do an ACOTAR reread.
Also, they're probably the books that I'm most proud of on my bookshelf. I have all 4, up to Gorder Frost and Starlight, the original hardcovers,
Yeah.
and they are beautiful.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Is it still a sore subject for you?
What do you mean?
What Hope let me borrow her ACOTAR books,
Did I?
and I had to buy you new ones. I bought you the ones that are on your shelf because I'm a type B reader and I like
Oh, yeah, that did
and
happen.
I tore a dust cover on one of the books when I was borrowing, and I was so afraid to return it to her that I just bought her new ones.
Well, that was very kind of you, Alyssa.
Well, I mean, basically I bought them for myself because I didn't
Yeah.
have them.
Mm.
So, but I think that's funny. But luckily,
My memory is such crap. I forgot that happened.
yes. But it was when I have the original covers too. But
Yeah.
obviously one of my dust covers
Oh.
is torn.
Oh,
But I don't care.
oh. They're beautiful. I hate the new covers. I don't know what it
Well,
is.
that's just me.
I'm sorry. I just
I
don't
like
them.
them.
I
I'm the
like
only
them.
one without the old ones, guys.
I like them. Did y'all know they're releasing a limited edition ones at Barnes and Nobles? The like
Yes.
black.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That's like controversial.
Why?
yeah.
People are saying like,
It's
which I
not
get their point.
special,
Right. It's
essentially.
it's not very special. They're just black and
Okay.
gray, which I totally get.
Like,
But
there's no exclusive content or
No,
anything.
like,
Right.
the edges are black too,
Oh.
but like they don't have like dragons.
Which-
So
which I do agree. Like, I love a sprayed edge, but I do, the designs are what makes the sprayed edge
there.
cool. Or like your book right there. What is it?
I have a special edition of Beach Read by Emily Henry.
Yeah, and the side of it looks like a sunset over the ocean, and it's really, really beautiful sprayed edges.
Yes.
Like that to me is like worth your
worth it.
money,
And I
a limited
display it with
edition.
a dust cover so you can see the
Right.
the beauty of it. So yeah.
Yeah. So that to me, or like the dragons on the side of like the new Onyx Storms or the Fourth Wing editions, like those to me are like worthwhile to spend your extra money on if you want to show them on your shelves.
Mhm.
But I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. If you absolutely love the limited editions of the Barnes and Nobles ACOTAR, then you get those, babe. But I do get what people are saying about it being kind of feels like a money grab.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. But still love the books. It's just following the news.
Yes, following the news.
Staying up to date.
But yeah.
Well, it was, fun going over our top 3s in a lot of different areas, but I also like to just maybe check in with you guys. I know we've had conversations about it in the past, like maybe some of our favorite book tropes, maybe even getting into the least favorite later. But maybe, I didn't get to hear from you guys since maybe a couple years ago. Maybe things have changed.
Well,
I'm very stagnant in my likes and dislikes, I think.
I'm going to start with my number 1. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Enemies to Lovers?
Oh, that's my number 1 too. Enemies to Lovers. That's my
Isn't it? Like
it's on mine, but it's not number 1.
Really?
Because like you said, like enemies to lovers is in like romantasy. Like
That's true.
That's like the main thing. Whereas like enemies to lovers and like in the real world romance, and like it's not like they're not really enemies.
It's more of like a grumpy sunshine.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy a good grumpy sunshine with just like the regular
I like that
romance.
Too.
Yeah.
I would say my number 1 is fake dating. It forever will be fake dating. I've never met a fake dating book I didn't like. If anyone happens to know of any fake dating books, throw them my way, because if I haven't already read them, I want to read them.
I don't
want
hate
to see them.
I don't hate them.
They have to be done right for me to like a fake dating.
Okay. Sorry, I just thought of one that I didn't add to my list.
Yeah?
It's not one of my favorites, but I used to hate it, and I'm starting to come around.
Ooh.
Pregnancy tropes.
Oh, okay, because you truly hated this.
I truly hated it. Like
you would close a book immediately.
Girls, when I was reading Throne of Glass and in Empire of Storms, there's can I just spoil? There's no pregnancy tropes in Throne of Glass. But when I was reading Empire of Storms, there's a scene where Aelin like throws up, and I was immediately like, I'm putting this book down. Like if she's pregnant, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like the second anybody like in any book used to be like, I'm feeling nauseous, I'm feeling sick, I must have the flu, I was like, I'm out. I'm out. They're pregnant and I'm done. But
yeah,
I'm coming around.
I would say if you're interested in hearing about a recommendation with the pregnancy trope, stick around. If not, maybe skip ahead just a little tiny bit. But skip around if you don't want to hear it. But are you talking about Elsie Silver?
Yes.
It's Reckless, right?
Yes. No.
Okay.
It's Heartless and Reckless.
Yes, Heartless and Reckless.
Yes. And hand in hand with that, single dad tropes.
Yeah. No more spoilers. You can hop back in. Single dads.
Yeah. I like them.
Your cup of tea.
They're all right.
I mean, Elsie Silver does it like amazing.
I know. I guess I do want it to be tasteful. A pregnancy trope.
Yeah.
I guess that's a lie. I've read Ice Planet Barbarians.
Oh yeah.
And I wouldn't call that tasteful.
No.
I love them. I'm not judging. But I wouldn't call it tasteful. But yes.
Okay. What about you, Hope?
Let's see. Oh, are we talking about the pregnancy trope?
No. Just like I was gonna say, favorite book tropes.
I don't love it, but I'm not gonna not finish a book for a pregnancy trope.
Okay.
The Who Did This to You?
I have that next.
Who did this to you trope?
Like top tier.
Like, you mean you're gonna fight for me? What do you mean? Like he sees her scars or sees her wounds or something, and like, who did this? And I'm gonna kill them. Yes.
See, and that's why it's romantasy, because we gotta like believe you,
right?
You know.
Yes.
What?
It makes me think of the scene from the score where Allie asks for Dean.
Yeah,
She's
just
crying.
read the score.
It's
You
so
know,
good.
it's really good. Really lighthearted romance in some ways. Not so much in other ways.
I love them.
Well, I think I have one more on my list, and this is new to me. And I'm kind of hesitant to say it because I don't know if Hope's got into it in Iron Flame, or if you've seen it.
It was from Iron Flame.
Yeah, I know. Hey, maybe
That
close your ears.
spoiled it.
No, maybe close your ears.
I'm gonna.
She's closing her ears, guys. Okay, so when the main male character says, apologize, he makes whoever wronged the female main character apologize to her.
Powerful shadow daddy. It's
Honestly, and it happened twice.
I know.
Okay, Hope, you can come back.
Hope.
You're good now.
You can
You can come back.
Lovely.
You have that to look forward to. You're
okay.
welcome.
I have a lot more on my list.
Okay, keep
I
going.
have a couple more as well.
The one bed trope.
Oh, yeah.
Some people hate it.
I have that
I
on there.
don't care for it,
I
really.
eat it up.
So do I.
Eat it up. They're going to an inn. There better be
There's
one
only
bed
one bed.
available.
Yeah. Found family. For me.
I didn't put that on mine,
That's
but
a
that
good
was
one.
absolutely one.
That's a good one.
Like the inner circle, you know, found
Yeah.
family.
Okay, this one might be controversial. I love a strong female main character. However, I eat it up when the male main character has to save the female main character, or like she's injured and he has to like carry her out.
Mm.
I love it. I love a vulnerable moment.
I think it's good every time. It's okay to be vulnerable,
It's good
people.
every time. And then when they can speak to each other in their minds,
Oh my gosh.
where they
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a special bond.
Yeah.
And one of those books I didn't like.
Me neither. Me neither.
And I don't know if you would consider this a trope, but when the banter is bantering, that just
Good
chef's
banter.
kiss.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Good banter is where it's at.
Absolutely.
I will fall in love with a character so fast if they can banter. I'm shocked you didn't put love triangle on your list,
See,
Kiara.
this is a misconception, and I saved this so that I could clarify on the pod. Okay, once upon a time, I said I don't mind love triangles because we did talk about favorite tropes and least favorite tropes, and this was like in capital letters on both of their lists as least favorite, and I said I don't
Mhm.
mind them. They're not the worst. I don't, avoid them in books. And now all of a sudden, I love love triangles, apparently.
She's like every time
Makes
there's a
no
love
sense.
triangle in the book, we're like, Kiara probably is gonna love this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
I think it's just because we feel so strongly against them.
yeah, I
I
think so.
hate
But
love
even me being
triangles.
like, it's okay.
Ugh.
You're like, how dare you?
I
In the Hunger Games, like Peeta and Gale or whatever, like that whole thing, I
Twilight.
almost couldn't get Twilight.
Obviously stressful,
Couldn't do it.
but that's the whole plot of the book.
Can I say why I hate love triangles?
Yeah.
I always choose the wrong one.
So do I.
I always
I
Gale.
always want her
I was
with
a
the other
Gale
one. Yes.
girl. I was a Jacob girl.
Yeah.
Which I don't want any hate on being a Jacob girl because of the whole he like imprints on Renesmee thing.
Oh.
Because that's at the end. Okay. How was I supposed to know?
Some
It would
people
take a
stop
turn.
reading.
Well, if
Yeah.
they ended up together, it's not like he could imprint on his own daughter. So, like, what if things happened differently, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. How was I supposed to know?
I feel like I could only remember one time that I picked the wrong side of a love triangle, and I was crushed.
Yeah.
Crushed.
But usually I fall on the right side or the side that comes to fruition. And so maybe that's why. I mean, maybe that's why I don't hate it. But I also don't love it.
For my dark romance girlies, why choose? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Choose?
I too am a why choose girl. I think from what I know, hope you're not.
I go back and forth.
didn't
I
know
think it's
this.
just the way that it's done.
I did not know this about you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought you'd like it.
It's just, again, it's the way it's done.
Well, I need to know what you've read, like which ones you have, so I can know what you
I
don't like.
dislike it.
I will say, every Y choose, I have a favorite, which is why it
Mhm.
would never work in real life for me.
For you.
For me. Let me clarify. For me. Because I always have a favorite. There's always one. And I feel like authors have favorites too, because I feel like
They always put more.
someone will get more time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that is one thing about why I choose. I keep an eye out. I'm like, ooh, this one, you know, she gets a lot of time alone with this guy. This must be the author's favorite.
Mhm.
But
I have one more, and it's a dark-haired shadow daddy.
for your favorites,
Yeah,
of course.
of course.
I have yet to meet one I don't like. If he has dark hair and light eyes and can control shadows, even actually, forget
Not
the
even the
light eyes.
shadows.
Light eyes part. If he can control shadows and he has dark hair,
Mhm.
I'm in.
Yep. No further explanation.
Nothing further needed.
And now on to the tropes that we
Least
like
favorite?
least.
Yeah.
Obviously, love triangle.
Yeah, we know.
My other one
Yeah.
is a miscommunication.
It's
I
so
think they can
annoying.
go
Like,
too
just
far.
freaking talk to each other.
If it's like a short thing,
Yes.
like a short little conflict,
Like an
that's
oops.
fine.
Yeah.
But if like we're a third act breakup over a miscommunication, you're losing me. You're losing me.
Mhm.
I get
Yeah.
so annoyed.
Yeah, I used to run into those a lot more than I do now. Like maybe back a couple years ago, and now I think the authors are picking up on it.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like it's common in YAs to do miscommunication tropes.
You might be wrong.
Maybe because they have less, like,
I
you
feel
can't
like
put
it
spice in
spans
YAs, so.
across the spectrum. I mean, I've seen some adult ones that have it too.
Oh, for sure, there's adult ones too.
So, but I mean, probably more so maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I really dislike second chance romances.
Oh. I also am not a fan of
I'm
those.
not a
don't
fan
like them.
either.
And it's not like I hate them. It's just I never like cared that much.
Yeah.
Like, you're already done and out.
Uh-huh.
It's move and grow from it. Not
And you know
fall
what it
back into
always is?
romance.
They're the exact same every time where they don't want to tell us why they broke up.
Right.
It's always you find out right at the end.
And then it's always like not as bad as it
Something
seemed.
dumb.
It's always like
Mhm.
they make it to be like not as bad as it seemed, which ends up
So that they
being
can
a
be together.
miscommunication trope.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
awful. I hate it.
Uh-huh.
Another one I hate, which is spoiler alert for Say You Swear. For one of the reasons I will not read Say You Swear is memory loss tropes. I hate that shit.
And Bruce, stay silent over here.
Why? I don't want to have to relearn. I don't want the main character to have to relearn. I don't
Hey.
like it.
It happens to people, Alyssa.
Sure.
Let the memory
And
loss
it's
community
awful.
be represented.
It hurts. It hurts to
Hurt.
read.
Maybe if I actually read Say You Swear, it would change my mind.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I will never say never about reading any books because you never know. When I get in the mood, I might just pick it up. So,
Mhm. I also dislike childhood friends to lovers. I don't think I mean, maybe someone can change my mind. Just send me over a recommendation that is childhood friends to lovers that you loved like so much because I don't think I've met one.
I don't know a childhood friends to lovers, but I like like a brother's best friend thing
That they've known
that
for a
they've
long
known
time.
for a long time. Wasn't necessarily
I think
her
that's
best
different.
friend or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a little bit different. I don't hate those, but I also can't think of any recommendations that I've read. I'm not a
Yeah,
big
me
fan.
neither. Mhm. None stand out for me.
No, me neither.
But I feel like I have read some where it's like it's a good time while you're reading it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for the vibes.
Yeah.
Here for the vibes. That's right. I would like to preface all of these episodes that we're about to make. We are vibe readers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if it's, don't come at me with plot holes if I say I love the book and you come at me with like a plot hole. I'm going to be like, and?
I'm gonna
Who
turn the other
cares?
way.
Who cares? If they wrote it good enough that I don't care about the plot hole,
That's a win for them.
that's a win.
Yep. I also put a slow burn that's gone too far.
Oh. It gets boring.
There's some that just drag. Oh,
Yeah.
Like, there's slow, and then there's
Oh,
where it's painful.
you know what I hate? When there'll be a slow burn and they'll start to do things and then they back off for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like they go
Just a
back
little
to being
cheese.
slow burn.
No,
Yeah.
we shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. No, we can't. I would love forbidden romance is fantastic. But, you know, once you've committed, you've committed. Y'all
feel
better
like
be
that-
in love.
I feel like that kind of touched in Fourth Wing a little bit
How?
when they like first kissed, and then they were like, "No, okay."
But
not gonna-
but it consumed them. They didn't stop because they didn't stop. It consumed them.
No, I'm saying where like the tension built. They kissed the one time, and then it was just like, "No, we can't do this." You know what I'm saying?
I understand, but maybe not like forbidden romance.
Yeah.
Forbidden.
It wasn't forbidden. It was just a
No,
bad idea.
No, I wasn't talking about forbidden. I was
Okay,
talking more like
okay.
the slow burn.
Yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
started. We thought we were gonna get it, and then it was like, "No."
Right.
So that was a good one.
I
That
mean,
one
it was
didn't go
kind
on
of
too
forbidden.
far.
Everyone was telling her to not get close to him.
I mean, yeah, but
It wasn't no Romeo and
Yeah.
Juliet.
he obviously wasn't trying to kill her. So,
I mean, we
and
learned
I
that
get it.
eventually.
Logically, it was a bad idea for them to get together because of everything being intertwined. Listen, we'll get into this, okay?
Guys, let's hold on.
This
Sorry.
is getting
Leave
really
some
long.
suspense.
Sorry.
for the
This is a
listeners,
long episode for an introduction podcast.
as it should be. Anyways,
All right, our most anticipated 2025 releases.
I have a lot.
I only have 2.
I have 3.
Can I just say my 2 real quick?
Yeah.
Onyx Storm, obviously.
Mhm.
Duh. Comes out in 3 days from this time. I will be one of the crazy people at Target to get my limited edition. And then also Wild Side by Elsie Silver.
Mhm.
And that's all I could think of. What are your
Okay.
3?
Obviously, Onyx Storm. Then we have Scythe and Sparrow by Bren Weaver, coming out February 11th. It's the third in the Ruinous Love trilogy, the Butcher and Blackbird. It's the third one of those. And then also the third Boys of Avix, which is Say You Swear. It's the third one of those. That's coming out
Mhm.
June 17th. And we don't have a title for that one yet, but
That's crazy.
yeah.
Okay, well, let me get on my soapbox. I have 2 honorable mentions. I put Wild Side by Elsie Silver, and then I think that's coming out in March. And then Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez is coming out in April, I believe. Then we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and I think that's also coming out in April. So beginning of this year is jam-packed.
It sure is.
I have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That's early summer. And then My Friends by Frederick Bachman, also early summer. And then Onyx Storm, which is 3 days from now. And our most excited.
You have a busy year.
I have a busy year. A lot of new releases. I'm going to be spending a lot of money.
That's exciting.
I'm so excited.
It is so exciting. And I totally forgot, I have one honorable mention for a new release coming out this year. It's Fearless by Lauren Roberts. It's the third in the Powerless trilogy. That one's coming out in August 27th for that one. So lots of good books. We're gonna be jam packed and totally booked.
2025 is gonna be a good year. Totally booked.
Totally
Liked it.
booked. So I think that was a good intro to all of us. I hope everyone listening got to know us a little bit better. But I think Kiara is gonna lead us out.
Yeah, well, in anticipation for, the Onyx Storm release, in just a few days, our first few episodes are going to be over Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. So we hope we gave you enough little tidbits here and there to get you excited about that. And if you are, you can definitely tune back into our next episode and join us for our drunk synopsis of Fourth Wing. I hope that intrigues a few of you.
I think I'm gonna be bringing a bottle of wine.
Nice. I'm not sure what I'll be drinking yet,
but we'll share what we are in our next episode. But for today, that's going to be all from us. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll chat with you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so fun.